You lay awake at night, knowing you wasted another day, even though you promised yourself things would change. You remember the unfinished tasks, the missed chances, and the quiet feeling in your chest when you realize time keeps moving while your life stays the same. That feeling is difficult because you know you are capable of more, but you have not found a way to stay consistent. By the time you finish listening, you will have a simple plan you can begin using today to take control of your choices, build stronger habits, and create steady progress without making your life complicated. It all starts with one decision that most people keep avoiding, and once you understand why, everything begins to change. If you'd like, I can also write a high retention outro, 120 to 150 words. In the same Jim Rohn-inspired style. Chapter 1. Decide today to take complete control of your life. The alarm goes off. You reach for your phone before your feet touch the floor. A message changes your mood. A headline steals your attention. You scroll for a few minutes that turn into much longer. Then you rush through the morning. You skip the plan you wanted to follow. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. By the end of the day, you feel busy but not satisfied. You wonder where the hours went. You tell yourself you need more time, more energy, or better luck. Deep down, you know something has to change. The hard truth is not that life is unfair. Life often is unfair. The hard truth is that many people wait for the right feeling before they take responsibility. They hope motivation will arrive first. They expect confidence to appear before action. That rarely happens. Your mind likes comfort. It prefers familiar habits because they require less effort. Even when those habits make your life harder, your mind keeps returning to them because they are known. This is normal. It is not a sign that you cannot change. It is simply how people are built. Many people believe control means controlling everything around them. They try to control what others think. They try to control the economy, the weather, traffic, the past, and the future. They become frustrated because none of those things belong to them. Real control starts somewhere much smaller. It begins with your next decision. You control your words. You control your effort. You control whether you stand up after failure. You control whether you keep your promises to yourself. These choices may seem small, but they shape your life one day at a time. Responsibility is often misunderstood. Some people hear the word and think it means blaming yourself for everything. That is not responsibility. Responsibility means accepting your role in what happens next. You may not have caused every problem in your life. You may have faced disappointment that you did not deserve. You may have been treated unfairly. Those things are real, but the next step still belongs to you. No one else can take it for you. Waiting is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck. They wait for more money. They wait for more support. They wait until they feel ready. They wait for the perfect plan. Days become months. Months become years. Nothing changes because waiting feels easier than deciding. A decision creates pressure. A decision asks something from you. It asks you to act, even when your emotions are not fully on your side. Your life changes the moment you stop asking who will save you. It changes when you ask a different question. What can I do with what I have today? That question brings your attention back to reality. It moves your focus away from excuses and toward action. It reminds you that progress begins with what is available now, not with what may arrive later. The first action is simple. Do it today. Find a quiet place. Take one sheet of paper. Write 3 sentences. The first sentence is, I am responsible for my choices. The second sentence is, I cannot control everything, but I can control my actions. The third sentence is, today I will complete one important task before anything else. Keep these sentences where you can see them. Read them in the morning. Read them again before you go to bed. This is not about positive thinking. It is about reminding yourself what belongs to you. After writing those sentences, choose one task that has been waiting too long. Only one. It could be making an important phone call. It could be cleaning your workspace. It could be applying for a job. It could be exercising for 20 minutes. Finish that task before you spend time on entertainment. Do not worry about finishing everything. Finish one thing completely. Your mind needs proof that you can keep a promise to yourself. Tomorrow morning, do something different during the first 30 minutes after waking up. Do not start with your phone. Drink water. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Read your 3 sentences. Then write down the 3 most important things you need to do that day. Not 10 things. Not 20 things. Only 3. Put the hardest one first. Begin working on it before checking messages that are not urgent. This one change teaches your mind that your priorities come before the demands of other people. You may notice resistance. That is expected. Your mind will suggest easier options. It will tell you to delay. It will remind you that you are tired. Listen without obeying. Thoughts are not commands. Feelings are not orders. You can acknowledge them and still move your body toward the work that matters. This is where discipline grows. Not during easy moments. During ordinary moments when you choose action over comfort. Your third action takes place over the next 7 days. Every evening, spend 10 minutes reviewing your day. Ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What mistake did I make? What will I improve tomorrow? Write short answers. Be honest. Do not attack yourself. Do not make excuses. Treat yourself as someone who is learning. This habit builds awareness. Without awareness, improvement becomes guesswork. During those 7 days, pay attention to your language. Remove words that give away your power. Stop saying, "I had no choice," when you did have one. Stop saying, "Maybe someday," when you mean you are afraid. Stop saying, "I will try," when you can say, "I will do it." Your words influence your actions. Clear language creates clear decisions. You also need to protect your attention. Every day, ask yourself where your time goes. Many people lose hours without noticing. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. By evening, the day has disappeared. Set a limit for activities that waste your attention. Decide the amount of time before you begin. When the time ends, stop. Do not negotiate with yourself. Every time you keep that limit, you strengthen self-control. Do not compare your progress with someone else's progress. Comparison often steals effort. You only see a small part of another person's life. You do not know their struggles or their starting point. Your responsibility is not to become someone else. Your responsibility is to become more reliable than you were yesterday. That goal is always within reach. Failure will still happen. You will miss a day. You will make poor decisions. You will lose focus. None of that ends your progress unless you decide it does. One mistake does not define you. One missed day does not erase honest work. The important question is simple. What will you do next? People who improve are not perfect. They recover quickly. They return to their habits without wasting time on guilt. There will also be people who do not understand your new standards. Some may question why you say no more often. Some may expect the old version of you. Stay respectful. Stay calm. You do not need permission to become more disciplined. You do not need approval to improve your life. Your actions will speak more clearly than your explanations. A man named Daniel spent years saying he wanted a better life. Every Sunday night, he promised that Monday would be different. Every Monday, he repeated the same habits. One evening, he became tired of hearing his own excuses. He wrote 3 priorities for the next day. He finished the first one before opening social media. That evening, he reviewed his day for 10 minutes. He repeated this for 1 week, then another week. His life did not change because of one perfect day. It changed because he finally became someone who acted before making more promises. You already have enough information to begin. You do not need another reason. You do not need another speech. You need a decision that is followed by action. Every choice you make today becomes evidence of who you are becoming. Your future will not be built by hope alone. It will be built by repeated actions that match your values. Life will continue to surprise you. Some days will go well, some days will not. Accept both without giving up your responsibility. Stay steady when things are difficult. Stay humble when things are easy. Keep your attention on what you can control. That is where your strength grows. When you finish listening, do not wait for tomorrow. Write your 3 sentences. Complete one important task before anything else. Wake up tomorrow with a plan instead of a wish. Review your actions every evening for the next 7 days. Then look in the mirror and ask yourself one direct question. Did I take control of my choices today, or did I give that control away? Answer honestly, then act on your answer. Chapter 2. Build daily habits that create lasting personal improvement. You wake up with good intentions. You tell yourself that today will be different. You plan to exercise. You plan to eat better. You plan to finish the work you have been avoiding. The morning starts well, but by the afternoon you feel distracted. A small problem changes your mood. You put things off until later. Evening arrives. You tell yourself you will start again tomorrow. This has happened before. You are not lazy. You are simply living without habits strong enough to carry you through difficult moments. Many people believe their future depends on big decisions. They wait for one major opportunity that will change everything. They think success comes from one important moment. The truth is much simpler. Your future is shaped by what you repeat every day. Your daily habits become your daily results. If your habits stay the same, your life usually stays the same. If your habits improve, your life begins to improve even when the changes feel small at first. Your brain likes routines because routines save energy. Every decision takes effort. When you turn good actions into habits, you no longer spend so much energy deciding whether to do them. You simply do them. This is why habits are more dependable than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Habits remain even when you are tired, stressed, or not in the mood. Many people fail because they expect too much from themselves too quickly. They try to change every part of their life in one day. They create long lists of rules. They promise to wake up earlier, exercise every day, read for hours, eat perfectly, and never waste time again. Within a few days they feel overwhelmed. They stop completely because the plan was too difficult to maintain. Lasting improvement does not require perfect days. It requires consistent days. Small actions repeated often become powerful over time. Reading 10 pages every day is better than reading 100 pages once a month. Walking for 20 minutes every day is better than exercising hard for 1 day and then quitting for 2 weeks. Progress grows through repetition, not intensity. The first habit to build starts today. Choose one morning action that takes less than 10 minutes. Keep it simple. Drink a glass of water. Make your bed. Write your 3 most important tasks. Stretch your body for 5 minutes. Read 1 page of a good book. Pick only one action. Do it every morning before checking your phone. Repeat it for 7 straight days. Do not add anything else until this habit feels natural. The reason this works is simple. Success grows from consistency. When you complete one habit every morning, you send a message to yourself that your day begins with purpose. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. One completed habit creates confidence for the next decision. Tomorrow, add a second habit that supports your health or your focus. Keep it just as small. Walk for 15 minutes after lunch. Spend 10 minutes cleaning your workspace. Turn off unnecessary notifications while you work. Write down one thing you learned that day. Again, keep it easy enough that you can repeat it even on a busy day. Do not judge a habit by how exciting it feels. Good habits often feel ordinary. They are not designed to entertain you. They are designed to improve you. The person who quietly follows simple routines usually makes greater progress than the person who constantly searches for new ideas but rarely follows through. Your third action is for this week. At the end of each day, spend 5 minutes tracking your habits. Use a notebook or a simple piece of paper. Write down whether you completed each habit. Mark yes or no, nothing more. Do not create complicated systems. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are collecting honest evidence about your actions. If you miss one day, do not miss two. This rule is important. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has difficult days. The problem begins when one missed habit becomes a week of missed habits. When you notice yourself slipping, return immediately. Do not wait for Monday. Do not wait for a new month. Restart with the very next opportunity. Your environment also shapes your habits. If healthy food is easy to reach, you are more likely to eat it. If your phone is beside you while you work, you are more likely to become distracted. If your workout clothes are already prepared, you are more likely to exercise. Stop depending only on willpower. Arrange your surroundings to support the person you want to become. Pay attention to the people around you as well. Habits spread through daily influence. If you spend time with people who value growth, responsibility, and discipline, their standards begin to affect your own. If you spend most of your time around people who complain without taking action, that attitude can slowly become your own. Choose your company carefully. You become stronger when your daily environment encourages good choices. Do not reward yourself for making plans. Reward yourself for completing actions. Many people feel satisfied after writing goals or talking about their future. That feeling can replace real progress. Instead, allow yourself to feel proud after finishing the work. Action deserves satisfaction. Talking does not. There will be days when your routine feels boring. This is normal. Boredom is not a sign that something is wrong. It is often a sign that you are building consistency. Real growth is usually quiet. It happens through repeated actions that may not feel exciting, but continue producing results. You should also expect setbacks. A busy week may interrupt your routine. You may become sick. Family responsibilities may change your schedule. During those times, reduce your habits instead of abandoning them. If you normally read 10 pages, read 1 page. If you normally exercise for 30 minutes, exercise for 5. Protect the habit even if you reduce the effort. One woman named Sarah wanted to improve her life after years of feeling stuck. She often created detailed plans, but never followed them for long. This time, she chose only 2 habits. Every morning, she wrote 3 priorities. Every evening, she reviewed her day for 5 minutes. She followed those habits for 1 month before adding anything new. Soon, she noticed she wasted less time. Her work improved. She became calmer because she trusted herself more. Her success did not come from doing everything. It came from doing a few important things every single day. Confidence grows from evidence. Every completed habit becomes proof that you can rely on yourself. Every promise you keep strengthens your character. You begin to believe in your ability because your actions support that belief. This kind of confidence lasts because it is earned through discipline, not through empty words. Do not compare your habits with someone else's routine. Your life is different. Your responsibilities are different. Focus on building habits that match your goals and your current situation. A simple routine you actually follow is far more valuable than a perfect routine you never complete. Remember that habits shape your identity. Every time you choose to act with discipline, you become a more disciplined person. Your character is built through repeated choices, not occasional effort. When today ends, do not ask whether you felt motivated. Ask whether you completed the habits that move your life forward. Tomorrow morning, repeat them without making excuses. Continue the next day. Then continue again. Build a life where your daily actions match the person you want to become, and prove to yourself for the next 7 days that your habits are stronger than your excuses. Chapter 3. Eliminate excuses and accept full responsibility for every choice. You sit quietly after another long day. You think about the goals you set a few months ago. Some are still unfinished. Some were never started. Your mind begins searching for reasons. You were too busy. You were too tired. Other people made things difficult. The timing was not right. You tell yourself these explanations make sense, and many of them are true. But when you look honestly at your life, you realize that the reasons did not move you forward. They only helped you feel better about staying where you are. Every person makes excuses. It is part of being human. Your mind wants to protect you from discomfort. It wants to avoid failure, rejection, and disappointment. When something does not go as planned, your brain quickly searches for a story that reduces the pain. That story often shifts attention away from your own decisions. It feels easier to blame circumstances than to examine your actions. This reaction is natural, but it is also dangerous if it becomes a habit. Excuses are comforting because they remove pressure. If someone else is responsible for your situation, then you do not have to change. If bad luck controls everything, then your effort no longer matters. At first, this feels like relief. Over time, it becomes a prison. You slowly stop believing that your choices can improve your future. You wait for life to change, instead of changing your response to life. Responsibility is not about carrying guilt. It is about carrying power. When you accept responsibility, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot change. You stop asking why life is unfair and start asking what you can do next. That question creates movement. It reminds you that every day gives you another opportunity to act wisely. There are many things outside your control. You cannot control your past. You cannot control the opinions of other people. You cannot control unexpected problems. You cannot control every opportunity that comes your way. Fighting these realities only creates frustration. Accepting them creates clarity. Once you stop arguing with reality, you can focus completely on your next decision. Some people think responsibility means becoming harsh with themselves. They criticize every mistake. They replay every failure. They believe constant self-judgment will force improvement. It usually does the opposite. When you attack yourself, your energy goes into regret instead of action. Honest responsibility is calm. It says, "I made a mistake. I will correct it." Then it gets back to work. Your first action begins today. For the rest of the day, pay close attention to every excuse that comes into your mind. Do not argue with it. Simply notice it. Keep a small notebook or use a piece of paper. Every time you hear yourself saying, "I do not have time," "I will do it later," "I am waiting for the right moment," or "someone else caused this," write it down. By the end of the day, read your list. You will begin to see patterns. Awareness always comes before change. Next, beside every excuse, write one responsible action you could take instead. If you wrote, "I do not have time to exercise," write, "I can walk for 15 minutes. If you wrote, "I am too busy to read," write, "I can read 5 pages before bed." If you wrote, "My workplace is difficult," write, "I will improve the quality of the work I control." Replace every excuse with one clear action. This shifts your attention from problems to solutions. Tomorrow morning, begin your day with one important question. Ask yourself, what is completely my responsibility today? Write down 3 answers. They may include showing up on time, speaking respectfully, finishing an important task, exercising, or managing your attitude during difficult situations. Focus only on actions you control. Ignore everything outside your influence. This habit teaches your mind where to place its energy. During the day, when something goes wrong, pause before reacting. Take one slow breath. Then ask yourself another question. What is the next responsible step? Not the perfect step. Not the biggest step. Simply the next one. Maybe you need to apologize. Maybe you need to make a phone call. Maybe you need to begin again after a mistake. Keep returning to that question. It keeps you moving instead of complaining. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every evening, spend 10 minutes reviewing one decision you made that day. Choose only one. Ask yourself 3 questions. Was this decision helpful? Could I have handled it better? What will I do differently next time? Keep your answers short and honest. Do not blame yourself. Do not blame other people. Study your decisions like someone who truly wants to improve. This practice strengthens something important. It builds personal ownership. Ownership means accepting that your actions belong to you. You stop saying, "This always happens to me," and begin saying, "This happened. Now I will decide what comes next." That small change in language changes how you think. It reminds you that your future is influenced by the choices you make today. You will notice that accepting responsibility also improves your relationships. When you stop making excuses, you become easier to trust. People respect those who admit mistakes without becoming defensive. They respect those who keep promises. They respect those who say, "I was wrong," and then correct their behavior. Responsibility creates confidence in others because your actions become predictable. Do not expect everyone around you to understand this change. Some people are comfortable blaming everyone except themselves. They may encourage you to do the same. Stay respectful, but do not follow that example. Every excuse you accept makes your standards weaker. Every responsible action makes your standards stronger. There will be moments when responsibility feels difficult. You may have to admit that you wasted time. You may have to accept that fear stopped you from acting. You may realize you avoided a conversation because it felt uncomfortable. These moments are valuable. They reveal the truth. Once you see the truth, you can change it. You cannot improve what you refuse to face. There is also an important balance. Accept responsibility for your choices, but do not accept responsibility for everything that happens around you. Other people make their own decisions. Some events are completely outside your control. Wisdom means knowing the difference. Carry what belongs to you. Leave behind what does not. A man named Michael often complained that he never had enough time to improve his skills. Every evening he blamed work for his lack of progress. One day he tracked how he spent his time. He discovered he spent almost 2 hours each night watching videos that did not help him. Instead of feeling guilty, he made one decision. He used 30 of those minutes to study something useful every evening. After several months, his knowledge grew, his confidence improved, and new opportunities appeared. His schedule had not changed. His choices had. People often ask when life begins to improve. It begins the moment excuses lose their place in your thinking. It begins when you stop searching for someone to blame. It begins when your attention moves toward the actions that belong to you. This change is quiet, but it is powerful because it happens inside your daily decisions. You already know more than enough to improve your life. The missing piece is rarely information. It is consistent responsibility. Every day gives you dozens of opportunities to choose honesty over excuses, action over delay, and discipline over comfort. These choices may seem small, but together they shape your future. When you finish listening, pay attention to your next excuse. Do not defend it. Do not explain it. Write it down, replace it with one responsible action, then complete that action before the day ends. Continue doing this every day this week until responsibility becomes stronger than every excuse your mind creates. Chapter 4. Strengthen your mindset through consistent, disciplined, daily actions. The first challenge of the day appears before breakfast. You plan to wake up early, but you press the snooze button several times. You planned to exercise, but you told yourself you would do it later. You planned to finish an important task, but you started checking your phone instead. Nothing dramatic happened. No major failure took place. Yet by the time the morning was over, you already felt disappointed. Not because life defeated you, but because your own small decisions slowly pulled you away from the person you wanted to become. Many people think a strong mindset means always feeling confident. They believe mentally strong people wake up every day full of energy and determination. That is not true. A strong mindset is not built on feelings, it is built on choices. It is built by doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions suggest taking the easier path. Your feelings will change from day to day. Your standards should not. Your mind learns from your actions. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain collects evidence that you are dependable. Every time you break that promise without a good reason, your brain collects different evidence. Over time, those repeated experiences shape how you see yourself. Confidence is not created by saying positive words. Confidence grows when your actions prove that your words can be trusted. Discipline is often misunderstood. Some people think discipline removes freedom. In reality, discipline creates freedom. When you manage your time well, you gain more control over your day. When you manage your money wisely, you reduce unnecessary stress. When you care for your health consistently, your body becomes more capable. Discipline is not punishment. It is choosing what matters most, instead of choosing what feels easiest. A strong mindset also accepts reality without complaint. There will always be things outside your control. Some plans will fail, some people will disappoint you, some opportunities will disappear. Spending hours wishing reality were different changes nothing. Accept the situation as it is. Then ask one simple question. What is the best action I can take now? This keeps your attention where it belongs. The first action begins today. Choose one promise that you know you can keep before the day ends. Make it specific. Walk for 20 minutes. Finish one important task. Read 10 pages. Drink enough water. Do not choose something that depends on other people. Choose something completely under your control. Once you decide, complete it without making excuses. No matter how small the action seems, finishing it matters more than talking about it. After completing that promise, take 1 minute to notice how it feels. Do not celebrate with words alone. Notice the quiet satisfaction that comes from doing what you said you would do. That feeling is important because it teaches your mind that discipline brings rewards. You are building trust with yourself, one decision at a time. Tomorrow morning, begin your day without asking how you feel. Ask what your responsibilities are. Write down the 3 most important tasks for the day. Put them in order. Start with the hardest one while your attention is still fresh. Finish as much as possible before checking unnecessary messages or social media. Your morning shapes the direction of your entire day. Protect it carefully. During the day, practice one simple habit whenever you face resistance. Pause for 5 seconds before deciding to quit or delay. During those 5 seconds, ask yourself, will this decision help the person I want to become? Then act according to your answer instead of your mood. This short pause creates space between your feelings and your actions. That space is where discipline grows. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every evening, choose one disciplined action you completed that day. Write it down. Then choose one moment where you gave in to comfort instead of responsibility. Write that down as well. Do not judge yourself. Study yourself. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. When you clearly see your patterns, you become capable of changing them. Consistency matters more than intensity. Many people work very hard for one day and then disappear for a week. They expect dramatic results from short bursts of effort. Lasting improvement works differently. Small actions completed every day create stronger results than occasional moments of extreme effort. Reading every day builds knowledge. Saving money every week builds security. Exercising regularly builds health. The power comes from repetition. Be careful not to confuse activity with progress. A busy day is not always a productive day. Filling every hour with tasks does not guarantee improvement. Ask yourself whether your actions are moving you closer to your goals. If they are not, being busy will not help. Focus your energy on work that creates meaningful results, instead of work that simply keeps you occupied. Another important habit is finishing what you start. Many people begin with excitement, but lose interest when the work becomes ordinary. The middle of every task requires patience. This is where discipline separates itself from emotion. Finish the report, complete the workout, read the chapter, clean the room. Every completed task strengthens your ability to finish future tasks. Your environment influences your mindset more than you may realize. Keep your workspace organized. Prepare what you need before starting important work. Remove distractions whenever possible. Make disciplined actions easier to begin. If your surroundings constantly encourage delay and distraction, your self-control will face unnecessary pressure. Create an environment that supports your standards. Pay attention to your self-talk as well. Replace statements that weaken your commitment. Instead of saying, "I hope I stay focused," say, "I will stay focused for the next 30 minutes." Instead of saying, "I cannot do this," say, "I can complete the next step." Your words influence your attention. Clear and responsible language supports disciplined thinking. Do not expect discipline to feel comfortable. There will be mornings when you would rather stay in bed. There will be evenings when you would rather avoid important work. These moments are normal. They are opportunities to strengthen your mindset. Every time you choose responsibility over comfort, you become slightly stronger than you were before. There is another danger you should avoid. Do not become discouraged because your progress seems slow. Growth is often difficult to notice while it is happening. You may not see dramatic changes after 1 week. Keep going anyway. The person who remains consistent eventually reaches places that the impatient person never does. One woman named Lisa wanted to improve her health and become more reliable. She had started and stopped many routines over the years. This time she made one decision. She would walk for 20 minutes every morning before work, no matter how she felt. Some mornings she enjoyed it. Other mornings she did not. She walked anyway. After several months, her health improved, her energy increased, and she noticed something even more important. She trusted herself because she knew she would follow through on her decisions. Discipline also changes how you respond to unexpected problems. Instead of reacting with panic, you become calmer because you have practiced steady action every day. You stop looking for quick solutions. You begin looking for responsible solutions. This mindset allows you to handle pressure without losing direction. Remember that your mindset is not fixed. It changes with your daily choices. Every responsible action strengthens it. Every completed promise adds another piece of evidence that you are becoming more dependable. You do not need perfect conditions to improve. You only need the willingness to act according to your values, even when it feels difficult. When today ends, do not measure yourself by how motivated you felt. Measure yourself by the promises you kept. Tomorrow, keep another one. Repeat that process every day this week. Build your mindset through disciplined actions until your habits become stronger than your emotions, and your character becomes stronger than every excuse that tries to stop you. Chapter 5. Replace negative thinking with confident, focused, positive decisions. You are about to begin something important. Maybe it is a new job application. Maybe it is a difficult conversation. Maybe it is a goal you have delayed for months. Before you even take the first step, your mind begins speaking. It says you are not ready. It reminds you of old mistakes. It tells you that other people are more capable. A few minutes pass, and instead of moving forward, you remain exactly where you started. Nothing outside you stopped your progress. Your own thoughts slowed your actions. Negative thinking often feels automatic because your brain is designed to notice problems before opportunities. Long ago, paying attention to danger helped people survive. Today, that same habit can make you focus too much on what might go wrong. Your mind tries to protect you from disappointment by expecting failure first. While this reaction is natural, it is not always helpful. If you believe every negative thought without questioning it, your choices become smaller and your confidence slowly disappears. Many people believe they need positive thoughts before they can take positive action. They wait until they feel confident. They wait until fear disappears. That day rarely comes. Confidence is not the starting point. Confidence is often the result of action. When you complete difficult tasks, your mind begins to believe that you are capable because it has evidence. Your actions teach your thoughts more than your thoughts teach your actions. There is another problem with negative thinking. It often turns one mistake into a permanent conclusion. You fail once and tell yourself you always fail. One person rejects your idea and you believe nobody will ever support you. One difficult week makes you think your future will never improve. These conclusions are not facts, they are emotional reactions. They reduce your willingness to try again, even when success is still possible. A focused mind works differently. It does not ignore problems. It simply refuses to give problems complete control. It asks useful questions instead of repeating harmful conclusions. Instead of asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" it asks, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I cannot do this," it says, "What is the next step?" This change may seem small, but it changes your attention. Your attention influences your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. The first action begins today. For the rest of the day, notice every negative thought that tells you to stop or delay. Do not fight with it. Do not pretend it does not exist. Simply write it down. At the end of the day, read each thought and ask one question. Is this a proven fact or just my opinion? Be honest. Many thoughts that feel true are only assumptions. Seeing them on paper helps you separate reality from fear. After identifying each negative thought, replace it with one responsible decision. If your mind says, "I will probably fail," answer with, "I will complete the first step anyway." If it says, "I am not good enough," answer with, "I will improve through practice." If it says, "This is too difficult," answer with, "I will solve one part at a time." Your goal is not to create unrealistic optimism. Your goal is to replace helpless thinking with useful action. Tomorrow morning, begin your day by deciding how you will respond before problems appear. Write down 3 decisions you will follow no matter what happens. For example, I will stay calm during difficult conversations. I will finish my most important task before lunch. I will not complain about things I cannot control. These decisions become your guide when emotions begin to change during the day. As the day continues, protect your attention. Negative thinking grows stronger when your attention is scattered. Work on one important task at a time. When your mind begins jumping from one worry to another, stop for a moment. Take one slow breath. Look at the task in front of you. Ask yourself, what needs to be done right now? Then do only that. Focusing on the present action reduces unnecessary stress. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every evening, write down 3 decisions you made that improved your day. They do not need to be dramatic. Perhaps you chose to exercise instead of making excuses. Perhaps you stayed patient during a disagreement. Perhaps you finished a task even though you felt tired. This habit trains your mind to notice evidence of progress instead of searching only for mistakes. Be careful about the information you consume every day. If your attention is constantly filled with anger, fear, and unnecessary conflict, your thinking will slowly reflect those influences. Choose books, conversations, and ideas that encourage responsibility, discipline, and practical improvement. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means protecting your ability to think clearly. The people around you also affect your thinking. Spend more time with people who solve problems instead of creating excuses. Listen to those who accept responsibility for their actions. Observe how they respond during difficult moments. Their habits will influence your own. If someone constantly encourages negative thinking without offering solutions, limit the influence they have on your daily mindset. Another helpful habit is asking better questions. Your brain works hard to answer whatever question you give it. If you ask, "Why am I always unlucky?" your mind will search for reasons to support that belief. If you ask, "What can I improve today?" your mind begins looking for opportunities. The quality of your questions shapes the quality of your attention. Do not confuse positive thinking with pretending everything is easy. Some days will be difficult. Some problems will require patience. Some disappointments will hurt. Positive decisions do not deny these realities. They simply refuse to surrender because of them. You can accept a difficult situation while still choosing a wise response. You should also avoid expecting immediate perfection. Some negative thoughts have been repeated for years. They will not disappear overnight. Be patient with yourself. Every time you recognize one and replace it with a responsible decision, you weaken its influence. Over time, your new way of thinking becomes more natural because it is supported by repeated action. A man named David spent years believing he was not capable of leading others at work. Whenever an opportunity appeared, he immediately thought someone else would do a better job. One day, he decided to stop accepting that thought without questioning it. Instead of saying no, he accepted a small leadership responsibility. He prepared carefully, completed the task, and learned from the experience. He was not perfect, but he succeeded. That one decision became proof that his old belief was not completely true. Each new responsibility strengthened his confidence because it was built through action. Remember that your thoughts influence your choices, but they do not control them. You always have the ability to choose your next action. Even on difficult days, you can still speak respectfully. You can still complete one important task. You can still keep one promise to yourself. These small decisions build a stronger mindset than waiting for perfect emotions. Your future will not improve because every negative thought disappears. It will improve because you stop allowing those thoughts to decide your actions. Confidence grows every time you act according to your values instead of your fears. Focus grows every time you return your attention to what you can control. Progress grows every time you choose responsibility over hesitation. When today ends, look at the thoughts that tried to stop you. Do not judge yourself for having them. Judge only whether you obeyed them. Tomorrow, choose one responsible action every time a negative thought appears. Continue doing this for the next 7 days until your decisions become stronger than your doubts and your actions become the proof that your life is moving in the right direction. Chapter 6. Improve your relationships by listening, respecting, and encouraging others. You are talking with someone you care about. They begin explaining something that matters to them. Before they finish, you already know what you want to say. You interrupt. You offer advice they did not ask for. You defend yourself before fully understanding their point. The conversation ends without shouting, but something feels missing. They do not feel heard. You do not feel understood. Both of you walk away believing the other person simply did not listen. Many relationship problems do not begin with bad intentions. They begin with poor attention. People often listen only long enough to prepare their own response. They hear words, but they do not understand the meaning behind them. They focus on proving they are right, instead of learning something new. Over time, this creates distance. Respect becomes weaker, because understanding becomes weaker. Every person wants to feel valued. They want to know their thoughts matter. They want to believe someone is willing to listen, without rushing, judging, or dismissing them. This need is not limited to family or close friends. It exists in workplaces, classrooms, neighborhoods, and every part of daily life. When people feel respected, they become more open. When they feel ignored, they often become defensive or silent. A strong relationship is not built by saying the perfect words. It is built through consistent actions. Listening carefully, speaking honestly, keeping promises, showing patience. These simple habits create trust over time. Trust cannot be demanded. It must be earned through repeated behavior. Respect also begins with accepting that other people will not always think the way you do. They have different experiences, different fears, and different goals. You do not need to agree with every opinion. You do need to treat people with dignity. A calm disagreement is far more valuable than an argument that damages the relationship. Encouragement is another habit that many people overlook. Some believe encouragement means giving empty praise. Real encouragement is different. It recognizes effort. It notices improvement. It reminds people that their work matters. Honest encouragement helps others continue when they begin to doubt themselves. It costs very little, yet it can have a lasting impact. The first action begins today. During your next conversation, make one decision. Do not interrupt. Allow the other person to finish speaking completely before you respond. Even if you disagree, wait. Listen carefully to every sentence. Pay attention not only to their words, but also to their concerns. This simple habit immediately improves the quality of communication because people feel heard instead of challenged. After they finish speaking, ask one sincere question before giving your opinion. You might ask, "Can you explain that a little more?" Or, "What made you feel that way?" These questions show respect. They also help you understand the full situation instead of making quick assumptions. Many misunderstandings disappear when people simply ask thoughtful questions. Tomorrow, practice another important habit. Throughout the day, notice how often you speak about yourself during conversations. Make a conscious effort to balance the discussion. Invite others to share their experiences. Show genuine interest in what they say. Most people remember how you made them feel more than the exact words you used. When you show interest in others, they naturally feel more comfortable around you. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every day, encourage at least one person with honest words. Thank someone for their effort. Tell a family member you appreciate their support. Recognize a coworker who handled a difficult task well. Compliment a friend for keeping their commitments. Keep your encouragement specific and truthful. People quickly recognize empty praise, but they also remember sincere appreciation. Pay attention to your tone as much as your words. Two people can say the same sentence in completely different ways. A calm voice reduces tension. A respectful tone makes difficult conversations easier. Before responding in frustration, pause for one moment. Ask yourself whether your words will improve the situation or make it worse. This short pause prevents many unnecessary conflicts. Another important habit is keeping your promises. Every promise you keep strengthens trust. Every promise you break weakens it. Do not promise more than you can deliver. It is better to make one small promise and keep it than to make many promises you cannot fulfill. Reliability is one of the strongest forms of respect. There will be times when someone treats you unfairly. They may speak harshly. They may misunderstand your intentions. They may disappoint you. You cannot control their behavior, but you can control your response. Stay calm. Speak honestly. Avoid saying things you will later regret. Self-control protects both your character and your relationships. Learning to apologize is another important skill. Some people avoid apologizing because they think it makes them look weak. The opposite is often true. A sincere apology shows maturity. It shows that you value the relationship more than your pride. If you make a mistake, admit it clearly. Do not hide behind excuses. Accept responsibility and focus on correcting your actions. At the same time, learn to forgive when appropriate. Forgiveness does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means refusing to carry unnecessary anger forever. Holding on to resentment often hurts you more than the other person. Forgiveness allows you to move forward with a clear mind. It does not always mean rebuilding the relationship, but it frees you from constant bitterness. Be careful with criticism. If someone needs correction, speak respectfully and focus on the behavior instead of attacking the person. Instead of saying, "You always make mistakes," say, "This part needs improvement." Clear and respectful feedback helps people grow without making them feel worthless. Good relationships also require gratitude. Many people notice what others fail to do, but ignore what they do well. Make gratitude a daily habit. Thank the people who help you. Acknowledge the small acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. Gratitude strengthens relationships because it reminds people that their efforts matter. One woman named Emma often argued with her teenage son because every conversation turned into a debate. She realized she spent more time correcting him than listening to him. She decided to change one habit. For 1 week, she allowed him to finish speaking before offering advice. She asked questions instead of making quick judgments. The problems did not disappear overnight, but the conversations became calmer. Her son became more willing to talk because he finally felt heard. One simple change improved their relationship more than years of arguments. Remember that every relationship reflects repeated daily choices. Small moments matter. Listening for 1 extra minute. Saying thank you. Keeping one promise. Speaking with patience instead of anger. These actions may seem ordinary, but together they build trust that lasts. You do not need perfect communication to have strong relationships. You need honest effort. You need the willingness to listen before speaking. You need the discipline to stay respectful when emotions become strong. These habits improve not only your relationships with others, but also the kind of person you become. When you finish today, think about the last conversation you had. Ask yourself one honest question. Did the other person leave feeling respected and understood? If the answer is no, choose one thing you will do differently tomorrow. Then spend the next 7 days listening more carefully, encouraging more sincerely, and treating every person with the respect you hope to receive yourself. Chapter 7. Manage your time with purpose and complete important tasks. You sit down to work with every intention of making progress. You open your computer, a message appears. You answer it. Then you check one notification. A few minutes later you remember something else you wanted to look up. 1 hour passes before you even begin the task that mattered most. By the end of the day, you feel exhausted. You stayed busy from morning until evening, yet the work that could have changed your future is still waiting. You tell yourself, you simply need more time, but deep inside, you know the problem is not the number of hours. It is how those hours were used. Every person receives the same 24 hours each day. The difference is not time itself. The difference is how people decide to spend it. Some people allow every distraction to decide their schedule. Others decide their priorities before the day begins. Time does not choose your future. Your daily decisions do. Many people confuse movement with progress. They answer emails, attend meetings, organize small details, and solve problems that are not truly important. At the end of the day, they feel productive because they were active. But activity alone does not improve your life. Progress comes from completing the tasks that create meaningful results. A full schedule is not the same as a purposeful schedule. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Every interruption costs more than a few minutes. It also takes time to regain focus. Each unnecessary distraction makes important work more difficult. This is why protecting your attention is just as important as managing your calendar. If you allow every message, notification, or interruption to control you, your priorities slowly disappear. Many people delay important work because it feels uncomfortable. Difficult tasks require concentration. They demand patience. They often involve uncertainty. Your mind naturally looks for easier alternatives. Cleaning your desk feels easier than writing the report. Checking social media feels easier than studying. Talking about your goals feels easier than working toward them. These choices bring temporary comfort, but delay lasting progress. Purpose gives direction to your time. Without purpose, every task feels equally important. With purpose, you know what deserves your energy first. Every morning should begin with one simple question. What work today will make the greatest difference in my future? Answering that question helps you separate what is urgent from what is truly important. The first action begins today. Before doing anything else, write down the 3 most important tasks you need to complete before the day ends. Only 3. Keep the list short, because too many priorities become no priorities at all. Place the most important task at the top. Begin working on it before checking unnecessary messages or opening entertainment. Give your best attention to the work that matters most while your mind is still fresh. When you begin that first task, remove as many distractions as possible. Put your phone away unless you truly need it. Close unnecessary tabs on your computer. Tell yourself that for the next 30 minutes, your only responsibility is the task in front of you. Do not worry about finishing everything at once. Focus only on making steady progress. Small periods of complete attention produce better results than hours of distracted effort. After those 30 minutes, Stand up for a few minutes. Stretch your body. Drink some water. Then return to your work. Short breaks help maintain focus. They refresh your attention without pulling you away from your purpose. The key is deciding when your breaks begin and end, instead of allowing distractions to decide for you. Tomorrow morning, prepare your day before other people begin filling it with their requests. Spend 10 quiet minutes planning your schedule. Assign a time for your most important work. Protect that time as seriously as you would protect an important meeting. If someone else controls every hour of your day, your personal goals will continue waiting. As the day continues, practice saying no to tasks that do not support your priorities. This may feel uncomfortable at first. You may worry about disappointing others. Remember that every time you say yes to something unnecessary, you are saying no to something important. Respecting your time is not selfish. It is responsible. You cannot give your best to others if you constantly neglect your own responsibilities. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every evening, review how you spent your time. Write down one activity that moved your life forward. Then write down one activity that wasted your time. Be honest. Do not judge yourself. Learn from the pattern. Awareness helps you make better decisions tomorrow. There is another habit that improves time management. Finish one task before beginning another whenever possible. Many people believe doing several things at once saves time. In reality, switching between tasks often reduces the quality of your work and increases mistakes. Give your full attention to one responsibility. Complete it, then move to the next. Focus creates efficiency. You should also respect small amounts of time. Many people waste 10 or 15 minutes because they believe such short periods are not useful. Those minutes add up quickly. You can read a few pages, organize your plans, return an important call, or prepare for tomorrow. Small moments used wisely create large results over months and years. Be careful with perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect moment often becomes another form of delay. Some tasks only become clear after you begin. Progress is usually made by people who start before everything feels perfect. Do your best with the information you have today. Improve as you move forward. Energy matters as much as time. Pay attention to when you think most clearly. For many people, the morning is the best time for difficult work. Save routine tasks for times when your energy naturally becomes lower. Matching important work with your strongest hours improves both quality and speed. There will be unexpected interruptions. Plans will change. Emergencies will happen. Accept this without frustration. Good time management is not about controlling every minute. It is about returning to your priorities as quickly as possible after life interrupts them. One unexpected problem does not need to ruin your entire day. Do not measure success only by how many tasks you completed. Measure it by whether you completed the right tasks. Finishing 10 unimportant activities does not equal finishing one task that truly moves your life forward. Learn to recognize the difference. Your future is shaped by meaningful work, not by constant busyness. A man named Robert often ended his workdays feeling tired but disappointed. He answered emails all morning, attended meetings, and handled small requests from everyone around him. His own projects were always delayed. One week he made a simple change. Every morning he worked on his most important project for one uninterrupted hour before doing anything else. At first it felt difficult because he was used to reacting to every message immediately. After several weeks, his biggest projects were finally moving forward. He became less stressed because he knew his most valuable work was already completed before the day became busy. Time is one resource you can never replace. Money can be earned again. Opportunities may return. Lost time never does. Every hour you spend is part of your life. Treat it with respect. Do not allow distractions to quietly take away the years you hope to use for building something meaningful. Purpose also brings peace. When you know you have spent your day on what truly matters, you worry less about what remains unfinished. You understand that meaningful progress comes from steady effort, not from trying to do everything at once. This mindset reduces unnecessary stress because your attention stays on your highest priorities. When today ends, ask yourself one honest question. Did I spend my best energy on my most important work, or did I give it away to distractions? Tomorrow morning, write down your 3 priorities, complete the first one before anything else, and repeat that habit every day this week until managing your time with purpose becomes part of the person you are becoming. Chapter 8. Increase your confidence by keeping promises to yourself daily. You end the day with a quiet feeling of disappointment. You remember the promises you made to yourself that morning. You said you would exercise. You said you would finish an important project. You said you would stop wasting time. Hours passed, and those promises slowly disappeared under distractions and excuses. No one else knows what happened. No one criticizes you. Yet something inside you feels weaker because you know you did not keep your own word. Many people believe confidence comes from praise, success, or talent. They think confidence appears after life becomes easier. The truth is much simpler. Real confidence grows when you trust yourself. That trust is built every time you do what you said you would do. When your actions match your words, you begin believing in yourself because you have earned that belief. Think about how trust grows between 2 people. If someone repeatedly keeps their promises, you naturally rely on them. If they constantly break their promises, your trust becomes weaker. The same principle applies to the relationship you have with yourself. Every promise you keep strengthens self-trust. Every unnecessary promise you break weakens it. This is why many people struggle with confidence even when they have ability. Their problem is not a lack of skill. Their problem is that they have stopped believing their own commitments. They have promised themselves change so many times without following through that their mind no longer takes those promises seriously. Confidence is not created by saying positive words in front of a mirror. It is created by giving yourself evidence. Evidence comes from action. Every completed task tells your mind that you are reliable. Every responsible decision reminds you that you can depend on yourself even when life becomes difficult. There is another mistake many people make. They promise too much. They create impossible schedules and unrealistic expectations. They tell themselves they will completely change overnight. After failing to keep those promises, they feel discouraged. Confidence becomes weaker because the promises were never realistic in the first place. A better approach is to make fewer promises and keep every one of them. A small promise completed every day is more valuable than a huge promise completed once a month. Small victories build lasting confidence because they create a steady pattern of success. The first action begins today. Before the day ends, make one promise to yourself that you know you can complete. Keep it simple and specific. Read 10 pages. Walk for 20 minutes. Organize your workspace. Finish one important email. Drink enough water. Choose only one commitment. Then complete it before going to bed. Do not allow yourself to negotiate with the decision after you make it. When you finish that promise, take one quiet moment to recognize what happened. You did not simply complete a task. You proved to yourself that your words have value. That feeling may seem small today, but repeated every day, it becomes the foundation of lasting confidence. Tomorrow morning, write down 3 promises you will keep before the day ends. Make each promise clear and measurable. Avoid vague goals like, "I will work harder." Instead, write, "I will finish my report before lunch." Instead of saying, "I will be healthier," write, "I will walk for 30 minutes." Clear promises are much easier to keep because there is no confusion about what success looks like. Throughout the day, protect those promises. When distractions appear, remind yourself that every unnecessary delay is also a broken commitment. Ask one simple question before changing your plan. Is this more important than the promise I made to myself this morning? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Return to your priority immediately. Your third action continues throughout this week. Every evening, review your promises. Place a mark beside each one you completed. If you missed one, do not create excuses. Simply write why it happened and decide how you will prevent the same mistake tomorrow. Honest review is more valuable than harsh criticism. The goal is steady improvement, not perfection. Another habit that builds confidence is finishing tasks completely. Many people begin with excitement, but stop when the work becomes difficult. Every unfinished task quietly drains confidence because it reminds you of another promise left incomplete. Practice completing what you begin whenever possible. Even small completed tasks strengthen your belief in your own reliability. Learn to protect your word in conversations as well. If you tell someone you will call them, call them. If you promise to arrive on time, arrive on time. If you agree to complete work by a certain date, do your best to honor that commitment. The way you treat promises made to others influences how seriously you treat promises made to yourself. Do not compare your progress with someone else's confidence. Some people appear confident because they speak loudly. Others appear confident because they have achieved public success. Real confidence is quieter. It comes from knowing you can depend on yourself regardless of what others think. This kind of confidence remains steady because it is built through discipline rather than approval. There will be days when keeping your promises feels difficult. You will feel tired. Unexpected problems will appear. Your motivation will disappear. These are the moments that matter most. Keeping a promise on an easy day builds a habit. Keeping a promise on a difficult day builds character. Those difficult moments create the strongest evidence that you can be trusted. You should also learn to forgive yourself for honest mistakes without lowering your standards. Missing one promise does not erase months of disciplined effort. Admit the mistake. Learn from it. Return to your commitments immediately. Confidence is not destroyed by one failure. It is damaged when failure becomes an excuse to stop trying. Another important habit is speaking carefully to yourself after a mistake. Avoid saying, "I always fail," or "I can never stay consistent." Those statements are rarely true. Replace them with honest language. Say, "I missed today's commitment. Tomorrow I will keep it." This keeps your attention on action instead of self-criticism. A woman named Rachel often doubted herself before every important opportunity. She believed she lacked confidence. Instead of searching for motivational speeches, she decided to focus on one simple habit. Every morning, she made 3 realistic promises to herself. Every evening, she reviewed whether she had kept them. Some days, she completed all 3. Some days, she completed only 2. When she missed one, she corrected the mistake the following day instead of giving up. After several months, she noticed something surprising. She no longer questioned whether she could handle difficult situations. She trusted herself because she had months of evidence showing that she followed through on her decisions. Confidence also changes the way you approach new challenges. Instead of asking whether you are capable, you remember the promises you have already kept. You remember the difficult days you continued anyway. Your past actions become proof that you can face today's responsibilities. This confidence is practical because it is based on experience rather than hope. Remember that every promise is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every responsible action strengthens your identity. Every completed commitment teaches your mind that your future is shaped by your choices, not by your moods. You do not become confident by waiting for fear to disappear. You become confident by acting responsibly even while fear is still present. When today ends, do not ask yourself whether you felt confident. Ask yourself whether you kept the promises you made. Tomorrow morning, make 3 clear commitments. Protect them throughout the day. Review them honestly before you sleep. Continue this practice every day this week until keeping your word becomes your normal way of living and your confidence becomes something you earn through consistent action. Chapter 9. Create a simple plan and follow it without hesitation. You wake up with a strong desire to improve your life. Your mind is full of ideas. You think about learning a new skill, improving your health, saving more money, and becoming more disciplined. By the afternoon, you have watched several videos, read different opinions, and written a long list of goals. Yet when the day ends, very little has actually been done. You were busy thinking, but you were not moving forward. The problem was not a lack of ambition. The problem was the absence of a simple plan followed by immediate action. Many people spend too much time preparing and too little time doing. They believe they need the perfect strategy before taking the first step. They wait until every detail is clear. They hope uncertainty will disappear. That rarely happens. Life does not become easier because you think about it longer. Progress begins when you decide what matters and start working on it. A complicated plan often creates confusion. The more rules you create, the harder they become to follow. Eventually you feel overwhelmed. You stop because everything seems difficult. A simple plan is different. It is clear. It is practical. It tells you exactly what to do next. When your next step is obvious, hesitation becomes much smaller. Hesitation is one of the biggest enemies of progress. It often appears as careful thinking, but many times it is simply fear wearing a different name. You hesitate because you worry about making mistakes. You hesitate because you want approval. You hesitate because you believe waiting will somehow improve the situation. Most of the time, waiting only delays your growth. A good plan does not remove every challenge. It gives you direction. When problems appear, you still know where you are going. Instead of making a new decision every hour, you simply continue following the plan you already created. This saves energy because your attention stays focused on action instead of constant debate. The first action begins today. Take one sheet of paper. Write down one goal that matters most right now. Only one. Do not choose 5 goals. Do not try to improve every area of your life at once. Ask yourself which goal would make the biggest positive difference if you worked on it consistently. Write it clearly at the top of the page. Next, divide that goal into 3 simple steps. Make each step small enough to complete without feeling overwhelmed. If your goal is improving your health, your first step might be walking for 20 minutes every morning. Your second step might be preparing healthier meals. Your third step might be sleeping at a regular time. If your goal is improving your career, your first step could be studying for 30 minutes each day. Your second might be updating your resume. Your third might be applying for one opportunity every week. Keep the steps practical and specific. After writing those 3 steps, begin the first one before the day ends. Do not wait until tomorrow. Even if you only spend 15 minutes on it, begin now. Starting immediately teaches your mind that decisions are followed by action. This habit reduces hesitation because your brain becomes used to acting instead of delaying. Tomorrow morning, read your plan before doing anything else. Remind yourself that your job is not to complete the entire goal today. Your responsibility is to complete today's step. Large goals become manageable when your attention stays on the next action instead of the final result. Throughout the day, avoid changing your plan because of temporary emotions. There will be moments when you feel excited. There will be moments when you feel discouraged. Neither emotion should decide your direction. Your written plan should guide your actions. Feelings change. A clear plan remains steady. Your third action continues throughout this week. At the end of each day, spend 10 minutes reviewing your progress. Ask yourself 3 questions. Did I follow today's plan? What slowed me down? What will I improve tomorrow? Keep your answers honest and brief. Do not waste time criticizing yourself. Use your review to make tomorrow's actions clearer. Another important habit is making decisions once whenever possible. If you have already decided to exercise every morning, stop debating it each day. If you have already decided to study every evening, stop asking yourself whether you feel like doing it. Every repeated decision drains mental energy. Good habits remove unnecessary choices by turning them into routines. Do not allow perfection to delay progress. Many people keep adjusting their plans instead of following them. They rewrite goals, change schedules, and search for better methods. Weeks pass without meaningful action. A simple plan followed consistently will always produce better results than a perfect plan that never leaves the paper. Learn to expect obstacles. Your schedule may change. Unexpected problems may appear. You may become tired or discouraged. These moments do not mean your plan has failed. They simply require adjustment. If you miss one day, continue the next day. If one step becomes impossible, choose another useful step without abandoning the goal completely. Protect your attention from unnecessary opinions. Not everyone will understand your plan. Some people may tell you it is too simple. Others may say it will not work. Listen respectfully, but remember that many successful people achieved meaningful results by consistently following simple routines. Results matter more than complicated explanations. There is also value in setting limits. Decide when your work begins and when it ends. Decide how much time you will spend on important tasks. Clear limits reduce decision fatigue. They help you stay disciplined because you already know what is expected of you. Do not measure your success by how much you planned today. Measure it by how much you completed. A single finished task creates more progress than 10 unfinished ideas. Action builds momentum. Momentum makes tomorrow's work easier because you are continuing instead of constantly starting over. A man named James wanted to improve his financial situation. For years he read books, watched videos, and collected advice. He knew many strategies, but he rarely followed any of them consistently. One evening, he created a simple plan. He would track his spending every day, save a small amount every week, and spend 30 minutes improving his professional skills each evening. The plan was not complicated. He simply followed it without debating himself every day. Months later, he noticed something important. His savings had grown, his skills had improved, and he felt calmer because he always knew what to do next. Simple plans also reduce stress. When you know your next step, you spend less time worrying about the future. You focus your energy on today's responsibility. This creates peace because you stop carrying the weight of everything at once. You only carry what needs to be done now. Remember that discipline becomes easier when your path is clear. Confusion creates hesitation. Clarity creates action. Every time you follow your simple plan, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself. You prove that you are someone who moves forward instead of waiting for perfect conditions. There will always be more ideas than time. You cannot do everything. You do not need to. Choose what matters most. Follow your plan faithfully, improve it when necessary, but do not abandon it because progress feels slow. Great results often come from ordinary actions repeated with consistency. When today ends, write one goal and 3 simple steps. Complete the first step before you sleep. Tomorrow, continue with the next action without debating yourself. Repeat this every day for the next week until following your plan becomes stronger than hesitation and your actions become the steady proof that your life is moving in the direction you have chosen. Chapter 10. Commit every day to becoming your strongest, best self. The day is coming to an end. You sit quietly for a few moments before going to bed. You think about everything that happened. Some things went well, some did not. You remember the promises you kept and the ones you ignored. You remember the opportunities you accepted and the ones you allowed to pass. As you look back over the day, one simple truth becomes clear. Your future is not being built once a year. It is being built today, one decision at a time. Many people believe becoming a better person happens after a major event. They wait for a new year, a new job, more money, or better circumstances. They think one big moment will finally change everything. Real improvement works differently. It grows through daily commitment. Every ordinary day gives you another opportunity to become more disciplined, more responsible, more patient, and more dependable. Your strongest self is not someone who never struggles. It is not someone who never feels tired, discouraged, or uncertain. Your strongest self is the person who continues doing what is right, even when life becomes difficult. Strength is not measured by comfort. It is measured by consistency. It appears when you keep moving forward without allowing temporary emotions to control your choices. There will always be reasons to delay your growth. You will have busy days. You will face disappointment. Some people will misunderstand you. Some plans will fail. These situations are part of life. Waiting for perfect conditions means waiting forever. Improvement belongs to those who accept reality and continue acting responsibly anyway. You have already seen an important pattern. Every lesson you have practiced points in the same direction. Take responsibility. Build good habits. Keep your promises. Manage your time wisely. Strengthen your mindset. Respect other people. Replace excuses with action. Follow a simple plan. None of these ideas work because they sound inspiring. They work because they are practiced every day. The first action begins today. Before you go to sleep, spend 10 quiet minutes reviewing your day. Ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What mistake will I correct tomorrow? What one action will help me become a better person? Write your answers honestly. Do not hide your mistakes. Do not ignore your progress. Learn from both. This daily review keeps you moving forward with purpose. After writing your answers, make one clear commitment for tomorrow. Keep it simple. Wake up on time. Finish your most important task. Exercise for 30 minutes. Speak with patience during difficult conversations. Choose one action that reflects the person you want to become. Then, make the decision that you will complete it, no matter how you feel. Tomorrow morning, begin your day with gratitude instead of complaint. Spend 1 minute thinking about what you already have. You have another day, another chance to improve, another opportunity to make wiser choices than yesterday. Gratitude creates perspective. It reminds you that growth becomes easier when you appreciate what is already available instead of constantly focusing on what is missing. As your day continues, remind yourself that every decision matters. Small choices shape your character. Choosing to tell the truth when lying feels easier. Choosing to stay calm when someone speaks harshly. Choosing to complete your work before relaxing. Choosing to keep one promise even when nobody is watching. These ordinary moments become the foundation of an extraordinary life because they are repeated consistently. Your third action continues beyond this week. Create a personal standard that you refuse to lower. Decide the kind of person you want to be, regardless of circumstances. Maybe your standard is that you always keep your word. Maybe it is that you never stop learning. Maybe it is that you always treat people with respect. Whatever standard you choose, protect it every day. Your standards shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. Do not become discouraged when your progress feels slow. Many of the greatest changes happen quietly, and you may not notice stronger discipline after 1 week. You may not immediately recognize greater patience or confidence. Continue anyway. Every day you stay committed, you become slightly different from the person you were yesterday. Over months and years, those small improvements become impossible to ignore. Be careful not to become satisfied with excuses that sound reasonable. Growth often requires doing what is necessary instead of what feels comfortable. Comfort gives temporary relief. Discipline creates lasting improvement. When you face a choice between comfort and responsibility, remember the person you are trying to become. Choose according to your values rather than your emotions. You should also celebrate honest progress without becoming proud. Recognize the promises you have kept. Notice the habits you have built. Appreciate the discipline you have developed. At the same time, remain humble enough to keep improving. The moment you believe there is nothing more to learn is the moment your growth begins to slow. Another important habit is helping other people improve as you improve yourself. Encourage someone who feels discouraged. Share useful knowledge without expecting praise. Set a good example through your actions. People are influenced more by what they see than by what they hear. When others notice your discipline, patience, and responsibility, they may decide to improve their own lives as well. There will be seasons when life becomes especially difficult. You may lose something important. You may experience disappointment you never expected. During those moments, remember that your character is still under your control. You may not control what happened, but you always control how you respond. Continue following your principles even when circumstances become challenging. This is where lasting strength is developed. Never stop learning. Every person you meet can teach you something. Every mistake contains a lesson if you are willing to see it. Every challenge gives you another opportunity to practice patience, discipline, and responsibility. Stay curious. Stay teachable. The strongest people continue learning because they understand that improvement has no finish line. A man named Thomas spent many years searching for one secret that would completely transform his life. He bought courses, read books, and waited for the perfect opportunity. One day he realized there was no hidden secret. He decided to improve one small area every day. He woke up on time. He exercised regularly. He managed his money more carefully. He listened better. He kept his promises. None of these actions changed his life overnight. Together they changed the direction of his life completely because he refused to stop repeating them. Your strongest self is not waiting somewhere in the future. It is built by what you choose today. Every responsible decision brings you closer. Every disciplined action strengthens your character. Every promise you keep increases your confidence. Every moment you choose patience over anger, action over excuses, and purpose over distraction shapes the person you are becoming. One day, people may ask what changed your life. They may expect you to describe one important event. The real answer will be much simpler. You made a decision to stop waiting. You accepted responsibility. You followed through every day, even when it was difficult. You chose steady improvement over temporary comfort. You became someone who could be trusted because your actions matched your words. When you finish today, make one final commitment to yourself. Do not promise perfection. Promise consistency. Tomorrow morning, wake up with purpose. Keep your word. Complete your responsibilities. Learn from your mistakes. Treat people with respect. End the day a little stronger than you began it. Then repeat that commitment again the next day and the next, until becoming your strongest best self is no longer a goal you hope to reach, but the way you choose to live every single day.